YouTube, Lenny roguewarriorstc.com. Welcome back. We're gonna get right to it. This video is basically how to deploy your gun in a life-threatening situation. Like I said, I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube with firearm stuff and whatnot, and to see what other people are doing, and I've yet to see this. This is something that I pretty much developed several years ago, and it's about time that I make a video on this. This is geared towards CCW carry holders. It can be geared towards law enforcement as well. The only difference between law enforcement and CCW when it's carrying a weapon is the people that carry that are not law enforcement are not going to have a holster that has a retention device on it, like a Black Hawk holster that has a little paddle switch, or a Safariland holster that has a hood that locks the gun in with the thumb release. This is a Bravo concealment holster. I actually have one that does have a thumb release, not for this particular weapon, but and it's not really a retention weapon either, where I got to pull up really hard. The gun comes out of the holster pretty smoothly. And obviously a lot of people are going to Kydex holsters for concealed carry because it's a fast way to deploy a weapon without trying to hit a paddle under duress, and you're trying to pull your gun out and you can't do it because you forgot there's a paddle there because the adrenaline dump kicks in. Again, I'm using dummy ammunition in the weapon. Don't ever use live ammunition. Weapon's safe, it's clear, there's no rounds in the chamber. Even though I'm using dummy ammunition, I want to show you that. These are called snap caps. You get them online, pretty much any gun stores sell them. We use these for training purposes such as videos like this, training courses like this, demonstrating techniques where if you need to go to another magazine, you can simulate chambering the weapon, and dry firing it, and obviously you're not inadvertently killing anybody. So just wanted to go over that with you guys first. I mentioned in the last video on how I carry. I don't carry with the round in the chamber. This video is going to be a little bit different. This video is for people that do carry a round in the chamber. Can you still do this technique that I'm about to show with the round not in the chamber? Yes, you can. It's going to change things up a little bit differently. But I'm going to show this as if I was carrying a round live in the chamber. So, again, we're going to fast forward. It's not a matter of how they got to your weapon, it's the fact that they got to your weapon. Now, this is not them grabbing the gun in this video. This is where you have to deploy your gun, or you get in a situation, the guy knows that you have a gun. Obviously, you can tell by body language. If he starts looking down at your right hip, even if you have a jacket and it's wide open, he might make that move to get in close to try to grab the gun. What if, for whatever reason, you have to draw your weapon on this person? And the what if and yeah buts are the infinite number of possibilities. So we don't even really need to go into that. The technique right now is about how to deploy your weapon in a life-threatening situation. The catch is when the aggressor has your hand and he's stopping you from getting the gun out of your holster. At this point, you have the eye gouge, just like in the last video. But if there's this huge struggle, because I made the mistake of exposing my gun side to him, how do I get the gun out of the holster? I'm trying to pull the gun out of the holster stronger, and I can't get it. It's starting to come, but I can't get it. What do you do to do that? Okay, very simple. You start giving resistance up as he's putting resistance down. You drop your hips at that point, which will take the holster off of your gun. Then from there, you tilt by dropping your elbow so the muzzle of the weapon goes right into center mass of his chest. At that point, you depress the trigger. Bang! You put a round into him, if need be, depending on the circumstances. Now stay there. Here's the thing with this. If you see where the gun's at, okay, the slide of the weapon is on the back of his wrist. So this gun is probably not going to cycle and put another round in the chamber because it's being blocked with his arm. Now granted, that goes off, bang! He gets shot. He's probably gonna let go. He's gonna turn to fall, whatever the case is. From there, I have a failure to feed with my gun at this point. I have an empty casing in the barrel. The gun didn't cycle. It might not even cycled enough to where it caused a stovepipe or whatever. So at that point, I'm gonna have to clear the weapon. If the slide is completely forward, if it's in battery, all I gotta do at this point is eject the casing and put another round in the chamber, and I'm in full battery, and if I have to address with another round or whatever, I can do that, and that can happen within seconds. You have to be able to make this determination within seconds. If you need to take a follow-up shot, a second or third follow-up shot, it all depends on the situation, and you guys need to really be aware of those situations. You could shoot him in the leg if you needed to. You could shoot him in the groin if you needed to. Whatever you need to do. You could actually shoot the ground. Okay? So let's go back over here. So, nice and easy. Right? I drop my hips. I can shoot the ground at that point. I can turn the gun to the side. Shoot the ground. Bang! Gun goes off. Is he gonna sit there? Probably not. He's probably gonna jump back. Bang! Gun goes off. At that point, I could fall back, fire 2 more rounds into him if need be, or I could stand up and back up and keep him at bay. So any of these scenarios are possible. It all depends on the threat and what's necessary at the time of engagement. If you don't think that firing a gun at the ground, discharging your weapon at the ground or between his legs or whatever, if you don't want to hit him, if you think for 1 second that that person's not going to drop back, he will. I'm not saying do this, but if you think about it, you take an M80 and you light that thing and you let it get to the point where it's about to explode and you throw it in front of somebody's legs, what do you think they're going to do when that thing goes off? First off, it's going to fuck them up really bad, number 1. Number 2, that M80 goes off, that's going to make somebody basically shit a diamond, and they are going to jump back. So a firearm is just as loud, if not louder, than an M80. So when you fire that, bang, that person's gonna jump back, especially if you didn't hit them, if your intention wasn't to hit them. Okay, so let's go from this side again. So he comes in, remember, it's not why he got there. He got there. You have your gun, you made the mistake. Even from here, if I have my weapon sight turned from him, okay, stay over there, because I'm gonna turn. And he comes around me to grab this, okay, and he starts pulling, struggle. At that point, he's trying to stop me from getting the gun out of the holster. How do I get this out? Like I said, drop your hips, lift up, drop your hips, take the gun, or take the holster away from the gun, then tilt this up. Tilt it up, you drop the elbow, tilt it up. At that point, fire, turn sideways, fire into his leg, whatever you need to do at that point, okay? But you have to drop your hips. If you don't drop your hips, you're not gonna get the gun out of the holster. You need to drop your hips at that point. See, now if he starts pushing down, because now I got the gun out, because I'm standing, I'm not gonna be able to lift his body from here and do this. But I can tilt the gun and fire it at his legs. I would recommend dropping down to 1 knee because you're lower and you can lift this up a lot easier. From here, now he starts pushing the gun down at that point. What do? I feel all this pressure going this way. What do? You have to figure out, you gotta go with the flow of this and move at that point. Now I have him pretty much in a Nikio lock. Let go of my hand, can you do it? He just did, thank you. He lets go, I still have weapon in my possession. Okay, hey. Comes again, whatever, I go to grab the gun, he goes and grabs right away. Don't turn your body. This is gonna be harder. If you're gonna turn, I would turn that way, but because he has 2 hands on it, remember, you're gonna be in a fight for your life here. Somebody grabs your hand when you're trying to deploy your weapon in a self-defense manner, he's not gonna let you get the gun out of the holster. Just like if he had the gun, you don't want him to get the gun out of the holster. He knows if you deploy that weapon, chances are he's gonna be shot. You're gonna have tunnel vision, the adrenaline dump's gonna happen, you're gonna be under duress, you're gonna be in fear for your life, you're gonna be out of breath, you're basically gonna be fucking shitting yourself. Because this isn't a video game, this isn't Call of Duty. This is when shit gets real. That happens, you have to be able to identify, yeah, you can start punching them, but come on, I barely touched you, dude. Start railing on him. Your intent, keep the gun, right? Here's the intent. I can start hitting him. Who's to say he doesn't start hitting back? But the idea with this is the struggle of you trying to get your gun out of the holster. Drop your hips. Right away you have that. Drop your hips. Okay, hold on. Okay, from there you can move with this, throw it over you, and still have that. And I was like, holy shit, that was a John Woo movie. You know, movie trick, kicking him over you. That's very applicable because when you think about it, he is not strong. At that point, he doesn't want to get shot. So chances are, is he going to let go and back off? People think that you normally would. But in reality, why would you want to let go of this? He lets go and drops back or starts moving. It's just going to put me in a position to fire him faster. Fire at him faster. He might not even put his hands up. You know, when your life's on the line, people do all kinds of crazy shit. You're not thinking 100% clearly. You're not thinking focused. This is where training comes into play. If you're not training regularly, this shit goes right out the window. The most effective and devastating techniques are the simplest ones to learn. This is extremely simple. He grabs, I drop my hips, okay? This is hard to do. I drop, I lift up, and I drop my hips, I turn the gun right into him. Bang, I move. He gets thrown right over me. Go into battery at him at this point. And I have him in my sights. If I have to fire a second round, which I probably shouldn't at that point, you might not even have to fire. You might not even have to do that. Okay? He goes, I drop my hips, and I move at that point. So, you can use deadly force or not. It all depends on the circumstances. It all depends on the situation. So, thank you. That's pretty much it for me. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. Throw a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer any questions or any comments that people leave me. If you're not subscribed to the channel, support the channel, subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get all notifications of new videos that we post. Thanks for watching. See you next time.